Hello everyone and welcome to my last book haul of 2018. The year is pretty much over. We have like a half month left of it and I'm amazed at how fast it's gone by, honestly. Like, I feel like it was literally January a few weeks ago and now we're almost at January again. I've been collecting quite a few books over the past month and a half. I have 14 books here in total, and this will be the last haul that I do in 2018, but here are the books, so let's get started. The first two books are historical reads, and they are Hero Tales and Legends of the Rhine, and this is a collection of stories from the Rhine River in Germany. I picked this up in Half Price Books. It's old and used. It's by an author named Lewis Spence, and it recounts the lives and heroic deeds of mythical figures like Odin, the Allfather, Brunhild the Valkyrie, Lorelei, a siren whose singing lured sailors to their deaths on the rocks of the Rhine, Sigurd, Venus and Tannhauser, and many more. I'm really excited to read this and learn some of the mythical and folk stories coming from Germany and just studying that little bit of my cultural heritage from there. And the other historical book I got is the Vinland Sagas, and these are the accounts of Eric the Red and his son Leif the Lucky, who is also commonly known as Leif Erikson, and a few others, and it is about the Norse discovery of North America, because before Christopher Columbus sailed across the Atlantic, the Vikings sailed across the Atlantic. These Vikings left Scandinavia and settled in Iceland and went across the Atlantic into Canada. This is a super thin little book, and I just wanted to pick it up and read a little bit more about the discovery of North America that kind of contrasts the history that we think we know about. The next book that I got is The Real Middleearth by Brian Bates. This book is actually really cool. This author takes a look at the legendarium of Tolkien's world of Middle-earth and all of those books and explains where the inspiration for that fantasy world came from, which is actually Germanic Norse mythology, and it tries to explain the worldview of the English people thousands of years ago and how they saw the world around them and the spiritual elements of the world before Christianity came in and before all the languages developed and all of, history basically. But I will say, even though this is marketed as kind of a companion to the Tolkien universe, this actually is not related or affiliated with Tolkien at all or anything. This is called The Real Middle-earth because the word Middle-earth comes from Midgard, which means the middle place, which in Norse mythology is Earth. It's where we live. It's where mortals live. I thought this would be a really interesting read, and I am so excited to go through this and just learn more about the worldview of my ancestors. Now, moving on to what we're all waiting for, which is the fantasy and fiction. Next book I got is also Tolkien and Middle-earth related, and that is The Fall of Gondolin, edited by Christopher Tolkien and illustrated by Alan Lee. This book is part of the Great Tales of Middle-earth trilogy, and it goes into more detail about the kingdom of Gondolin during the Silmarillion and the first great war with the Dark Lord Morgoth. As it's obviously titled The Fall of Gondolin, it covers basically just the fall of this hidden kingdom that is inhabited, I think, by elves. I don't really know that much about it because I haven't read the entire Silmarillion, but they're all connected because this is one of the major stories in the book. And before we conclude with all of the Tolkien material in this book haul, I wanted to show you guys, I got two Funko Pop figures from the Lord of the Rings series. I have Aragorn and Legolas, and they are awesome. They are my two favorite non-Hobbit characters. And I thought I would open them on camera and show you guys because they're just so cool. So here we have Aragorn, and man, he looks so cool. I really like the design of his sword and just kind of the mud splatter on his boots looks really awesome too. He is really well designed. And then we have Legolas, and everyone loves Legolas because he's so cool.
He's just so freaking cool. Okay.
And here is Legolas. Now, I really like his design. I think Legolas has probably one of the best designs for a Funko figure that I've seen because just look at it. I love the detail on his gauntlets and his tunic with the silver threading, and then his bow and arrow still looks super awesome, and then his hair is in these really awesome elven braids and everything. Wish I could grow my hair out like that. So Legolas is awesome, and he's the perfect woodland guardian to have on my Lord of the Rings shelf. The next book I got was kind of a weird find. I saw this book in an Instagram giveaway post. The author of the book was doing a giveaway, so I messaged them and asked hey, you look like you're an indie author. Is there a way I can get a copy of this book? Is it on Amazon somewhere? Where can I find your book? Because it looks really cool. So I found it on Amazon and ordered it, and that is Heart of the Fae by Emma Hamm. This is a book that I am so excited to to read. And first, I just want to talk about how amazing this cover is. This is a Celtic retelling of Beauty and the Beast, which is just all I need to know right there. I'm sold on it. So I had to go on Amazon and look up the actual summary of the book because I wanted to explain what it's about, but I didn't want to like butcher it. When a plague sweeps across the emerald hills of Uinil, leaving a young midwife's father with months to live, Sorsha makes a deal with a dangerous fae to save her people. She must travel across the sea through Marrow and Kelpie lands to find a forgotten king on a crumbling throne. Born king of the Seelie Fae, Aemon fought battles unnumbered to uphold honor, duty, and freedom, until his twin brother sank a blade between his shoulders. Crystals grew from the wound, splitting open skin and bone. His people banished him to a cursed isle for his disfigurement, where he now rules as a king of criminals and fools. With the help of brownies, pixies, and will-o'-the-wisps, Sorsha battles to break through his crystalline shell and persuade him to take back his stolen throne. This determined beauty could come dangerously close to stealing his beastly heart if his enemies don't kill her first. So this book sounds pretty badass. I really like the idea of a midwife and a fairy king. That's pretty awesome. And if you guys are interested, you can buy this book on Amazon. I'll link it in the description below, and check out Emma Hamm's page. The next book I got is Celtic Tales, Fairy Tales and Stories of Enchantment from Ireland, Scotland, Brittany, and Wales. And this is a little storybook of just different Celtic fairy tales and mythology. And there is a story in here that I really wanted to tell you guys about. Little Whitethorn and the Talking Bird. And if Rowan Whitethorn from Throne of Glass ain't inspired from that story, like, I see you, Sarah. There's also the story of Meredith and the Wyvern. So yeah, looks like that's some Manon inspiration as well. It has some really beautiful in pages of just Celtic knotwork, some really pretty illustrations. Here are two sisters spinning. Here's another illustration here. I just think these are so really well done, and I have been wanting to learn more about Celtic mythology and fantasy. The back of this book just says, Selkies, Wyverns, Witches, and Giants, Perilous Quests, True Love, and Animals That Talk. So I am really looking forward to being transported to ancient Celtic Britain. The next book is another historical account. I'm just so into folklore and mythology right now, you guys. Like, I'm obsessed with it. So I am just reading as much as I can about it and just learning so much. It's really awesome. So this is the next book I got. I can't even pronounce the name because it's in German. Nibelungenlied? Nibelungenlied. I think that's how you say it. But this is similar to the Hero Tales of the Rhine that I featured earlier. This is a heroic German story, and it is a slight variant from the Norse sagas. And this book is completely in German. There is not one English word in this entire book, and I can't read any of it. So you might be wondering, why did you buy it, Warren, if you can't even read it? And that is because in 2019, I have made it my goal to try and learn another language. And I really want to learn German because of my ancestry in Germany, and also I think it's a really cool language. So I'm going to try really hard in 2019 to learn that language, and I'm going to read this book as practice and just let it help me with like vocabulary and help me practice learning German. The next book I got is Vengeance by Ian Irving, and this is the first book in a series called The Tainted Realm. This is a fantasy book about a slave girl named Tali who watched her mother be murdered in front of her before she was basically enslaved, and about a young man named Rix who is the heir to a noble family and a very large fortune, and he is tormented by this fear that his family might have had something to do with the murder of Tali's mother. And so the two of them kind of connect and have to figure out how to deal with the fantasy world they're living in and the changing political and like family rivalry ties that's going on. It sounds really cool, and this cover looks pretty awesome too with like the snowy wood. This book looked really interesting, and I just thought I'd grab it and see if it was any good. It looks good, so I'm hoping that I will enjoy it. Next, I picked up two science books, and they are Cosmos by Carl Sagan. And if you don't know, Carl Sagan was a very well-known astronomer in the like 1980s. He wrote this book about the origins of the universe. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. Then I also picked up Carl Sagan's next book, which is called Pale Blue Dot, and this is actually technically a sequel to Cosmos, but this really focuses more on his vision of what he hopes mankind can achieve with space travel and where we can go within the next few centuries. I am really excited to read these and just see what else I can learn about the universe. I love astronomy so much. I think you guys know that. I mean, is that any surprise? I named my channel Starry Night Reader for like, there's a specific reason that I named it that. I want to finish writing my science fiction book one day. Maybe one day I will get it done. And so these two books will be good research for me in writing that space novel and just learning more about the universe from one of the greatest astronomers in American history. Next, I bought The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness and the sequel, which is The Ask and the Answer. And so the two of them together are part of the Chaos Walking series. These are books 1 and 2, and I really love how these spines look. They are super aesthetic. This is a young adult, like, psychological dystopian kind of story. It takes place in a town where everyone can read each other's thoughts and minds. There's no privacy in this town. Everyone can just hear each other's thoughts constantly. I don't think they can control it. It's just a constant conversation in everyone's head. And the main character in this story, Todd, is tasked with keeping a very dark secret, and it's pretty much impossible to do that in a city where everyone can hear your thoughts. So it sounds like a really cool psychological type thriller, and they're actually going to make this a movie soon. It has that ugly sticker on it that you can't get off because it's like part of the cover. I hate when they do that. But it's soon to be a major motion picture, and I believe the actor playing the main character, Todd, is Tom Holland. So I am really excited to read this book and hopefully see the movie whenever it comes out. I don't know if there's a trailer out for it yet, but I want to read the book before I go see the movie. It's kind of a tradition. You gotta always read the book first. This has been on my wish list for a while, and I finally picked it up because I saw it in the store the other day, and I decided, yeah, I'm gonna go get this and hopefully read it before the movie comes out. I have one more book in this haul that I saved for last because it's the best. It is a book that I literally cannot believe that I have. This is actually a book that is very, very rare, but I did find a copy and I won it on eBay, so your boy here is a master eBay sniper. And are you guys ready for it? Are you ready? It is Kingdom of Ash. It's not even just the UK paperback Kingdom of Ash. It is the exclusive UK tour edition of Kingdom of Ash with the red sprayed edges, and I am living for this book. I cannot believe that I have this in my possession. It's fantastic. It is so beautiful. Let's see if you can hear like the pages crack. Oh yeah, that's great. I love it. It gets even better because since this is a tour edition, it's also signed by Sarah. This is mine. I cannot believe I have this book. There's, by all possibilities, like I should not have this, but I did. I won it on eBay. I probably pissed off a lot of Brits in the process too. The eBay auction was counting down to like the final couple seconds, and then literally with 1 second left on the clock, I swooped in like Rowan in hawk form, boom, placed my deal higher than everyone else's, and I won the copy. And now I've been waiting for about a month for it to ship and get to the United States, and now it's here, and I have it. I picked it up from the post office the other day, and I'm just like so excited. Yes! I can't believe it. It's awesome. It's going to look amazing on my shelf. I do have the like regular edition up here of Kingdom of Ash, and I don't really know what I'm gonna do with 2 copies. I might give that one away. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this book haul. I am so excited to read these. Let me know down in the comments what you're most excited to read before the end of the year. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Starry Night Reads, and I will see you guys real soon in another video. Bye!